Alrighty. Welcome to part 8 of Legends on Legends, where I'm interviewing other Legends content creators talking about the game before it shuts down. And today we are joined by Sly Boogie. How you going, man?
What is going on, Thin White Duke Star? What's going on, everybody? Cheers. What up? What up? What up? I got a lot of
Man.
energy right now.
Yeah, no, all good, man. I love to hear it. We will start off with. Let's go for this one. How you going, man? How you been?
I'm doing great right now. It's been a busy day, but I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to be part of this series. I'm 36-hour stream. I hold you. I cannot do that right now.
Yeah,
So I'm really respect that. All jokes aside.
yeah, no, it should be good, and it's great having you on as well. Finally, it took us a little bit of coordinating to get here, but we got here.
And I do apologize for my tardiness, but yes, I'm really excited to be here and be a part of this series. I feel like it's important for the community and just the series, the game overall, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great to get as many people together talking about it while we can. All right. So you've been making Legends videos for a hell of a long time, pretty much from what I can see. I mean, how did you sort of get started with it?
I've been a fan since Skyrim, if I'm being honest. The original Skyrim on PS3 hooked me. As an open world game, it was the absolute epitome of immersion. I feel like I played it on the original release, played it on the PS4, and I kind of fell out once it got in the PS5. However, to the point, Elder Scrolls Legends as a card game really excited me. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh as a kid,
Mm.
and anyway, collectible card games and just the Elder Scrolls, it was just a great synergy. It was just exciting to play, and it's just a lot of strategy involved. So it hooked me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you, well, presumably at some point decided that you could start making videos on the internet about it.
What really it's you know what? Honestly, I was playing some matches on my iPhone, and I knew that I could record, and I was just nice. At least I felt that I was nice in terms of the way I was just playing and just casually having fun and just doing some shenanigans, whatever, whatever. But it got to the point where I just wanted to show the video to people just so they can kind of see it, for lack of a better term. It's hard to articulate, but I just wanted to let people who play the game see some of the dope stuff that was going on in the game at the time. That's what just drew me to create videos. And it's ballooned pretty good from there, if I'm being honest, in terms of seeing other people play, understanding different play styles. Like I've gotten so much knowledge from just playing this game casually. It's not even funny.
Yeah, and I mean, you've definitely put the hours in as well over the time you have been making videos on the game. Um,
Yeah, and I'm not really a professional player in terms of like I've watched the competitive players play Elder Scrolls Legends, like those guys. Like it's a bit more hardcore in my opinion, but I've always considered myself a casual player, but just a guy that can kind of hang out with the big dogs, for lack of a better term.
yeah, no, that's fair. And you, I mean, at least the pattern that I've kind of seen is that you're big on the sort of control Telvanni as your kind of preference. Would you agree with that?
I would.
Yeah.
It
What sort of draws you to that?
the control aspect of the game.
Hmm.
I've I feel like I've gone against so many builds where I just felt like I wanted to play a deck that can play in either side, whether I'm playing an aggressive build or a kind of strategic counter build, something that's going for a specific strategy, a specific amount of cards, or a long term build.
Hmm.
It's not perfect, but I've always felt that Savani, for me, generally, I can always just do whatever I want and just kind of have a great match. It's always been fun. Like even the losses I take, I feel like I just have a great time.
And I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Is to have a good time.
Agreed. And that's, if I'm being honest, I don't the new variant cards are always good to look at, no doubt. I'm not acting like that doesn't mean anything, but there's no sort of like I play casually, but I've there's it's hard to articulate. It's like an addiction, for lack of a better term, but a healthy one. I wish I could articulate it better. I will. Give me a moment. But matches like this, right now, I'm just playing a drain build, but it's also utilizing supports.
Hmm.
I see you, Duke. I see you have a build right now that's going for a control, but definitely power in terms of numbers. I don't want to say swarm. I'm not sure if it's swarm. I'm guessing.
Something like that, sure.
I'll find out.
This might be handy.
But yeah, how about yourself? What kind of I'm speaking for someone who's new to this series that you have going on.
Mhm.
What is one of the things that brings you to this game? Excites you about it?
Yeah, so I, like you, I came to it because it was an Elder Scrolls game. I have, like, basically zero experience with these sorts of card games outside of Legends. Well, I've played, like, a little bit of tabletop Magic, but, you know, that's always been in a super, like, casual setting. So I had little to no experience, and I actually started playing because so I moved out of home for study, and I only had a MacBook with me. I didn't have a PC, I didn't have a console, I didn't have anything. And
Okay.
the only Elder Scrolls games that run on a MacBook are ESO and Elder Scrolls Legends. And I'd never heard of this Elder Scrolls Legends, but I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And then here I am, like a year and a half later, making 4 hour long YouTube videos about it. So one
One hell
thing,
of a come up.
yeah, one thing kind of led to another. But yeah, I mean, I personally am big on the sort of the deck building aspect. I like the creativity that you can sort of pour into how you play, not just how you play, but how you build as well.
Yes.
Just tell me who to stab.
I feel
And
like there's a way that you can express your personality in this game, whether you want to be a person that kind of slams down strong mosses, or someone that's strategic, wants to put a specific set of mosses in a particular, that type of combo build. There's ways to really express yourself in this game.
yeah, no, I'd agree with that completely, and I think that's one of the great things about it is that it appeals to so many different styles of player. As you say, you've got aggressive people, you've got the people who love control, you've got the people who want to do the, you know, those sorts of absurd combo decks and so on.
Unstoppable rage.
Yeah, and you can do all of that. So I think it's very special for the amount of sort of expression that it allows.
Agreed. Just speaking on a point that you touched on earlier,
Hmm.
you said that Elder Scrolls Legends was your first foray into the Elder Scrolls universe. You've never touched Oblivion, Skyrim, or any of those titles.
No, so it was my first into card games.
Ah,
So I've played Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind a whole bunch. But I hadn't played any card games before.
copy.
So yeah, I got into
One
it.
hell of a welcome.
Yeah. Well, it's not a bad one either. All things considered.
Absolutely. That's far from an understatement.
So yeah, no, it was, you know, a completely different experience of gameplay, having not played games like this before. But I've really enjoyed sort of learning it and working through all the things. You know, you have to take a bit of time to learn the game and respect the game and so on. But
100%.
it's been so much fun going through that process.
It's a game that's like easy to pick up, but always been hard to master. I feel like that's always been a great appeal for it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that 100%. You can learn quickly, but to get good at it is a different story.
And I feel like the community's always been the best aspect of the game, even though I wanted to save that for last, but the community support has always been what drives me to create more content. Even with like times where I just I don't want to say didn't care to, but I didn't feel like I had anything different to add, I guess for lack of a better term, in terms of a new style of play, but sometimes it just doesn't matter. That's how good, how fun the game is.
Yeah, and well, there's so many possibilities, right? Because I mean, you know, you were talking about earlier about Telvanni control. Just that term Telvanni control already covers, so many different types of ways to play that one specific archetype. And then, you start diving into other play styles and other classes and so on, and then all of a sudden you're going down this rabbit hole of all these different ways to play it.
Agreed.
So I think it's
I
great
feel
for...
like there's cards I don't touch in Telvanni, but other
Mm.
people would just make it look very masterful in terms of just the way they maneuver with it. Singleton Telvanni, for example, I feel like the people who play that really get busy in terms of the combos they're able to pull off.
Mhm.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And again, just the fact that that's such a different way to do almost the exact same thing says a lot about the variety that's available.
Absolutely, 100% agree. It's like thinking about a fighting game, for lack of a better term. Like Street Fighter 6, for example, you can play two people can play Ryu, but have completely different fighting styles.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Legends gave me that vibe.
We must protect our stronghold.
Yeah, it's definitely just got
Good play.
endless potential.
Okay, good play on that.
Thanks.
I keep a spare blade in my boot. Speak, citizen.
Ooh, okay.
I'll do what I must.
Alright. You're not making my job easy, are you? Yeah, I'll go like this. And this.
I sell cures for all ills.
Because did you start playing Legends like after the maintenance mode, or were you playing before then?
I think. Well, I've been playing Legends since launch. I was a founder. I started from the beginning.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Ever since I heard of the game, I was like, I wanted to try it out, and it was free. I feel like that was an immediate appeal.
Yeah.
I think I didn't start like my recording of the gameplay started years though. I think maybe I gotta actually look into it, but I think it was before the maintenance actually started. Before, like the last patch that they had in 2017 is when I started recording, for lack of a better term. At least I'd like to think so. I have to look into it. It's been a while. Good play right here.
Speak, citizen.
Pardon the background noise.
No, you're all good.
Ita Oi. Do your work.
So tell me about one of your favorite builds that you like playing. Is this?
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to make sure I respect the name. Is House Halalu one of your favorite builds, or is this kind of a play build, for lack of a better term?
I do like Hlalu as a class. This isn't necessarily my go-to Hlalu build. I'm normally the sort of person who's got some elaborate, 12 card combo that I'm trying to pull off at some point. This one isn't quite that, but that's usually my go-to, and that's what I focus most of my videos and streams and so on about, because that kind of just ended up becoming my sort of, I guess, niche of, this is the thing I do. And I really enjoy that sort of stuff. It's super satisfying when you pull Alduin out of Altar of Despair, or whatever it is.
That does work.
So
And that does suck to be on the receiving end of that.
yeah. So those, that's my usual style, I guess. I do definitely like Hlalu as a class, just in general as well, though.
There is murder in the air.
In my experience, just playing with Arch as a whole, they're very great. Well, definitely got a lot of power right now, no doubt.
Yeah, Archer has so much potential.
The lethal is crazy. They can touch any creature anytime.
Poultice.
But yeah, no, absolutely.
I definitely got caught between a rock and a hard place here. Okay. All right. see what a last turn kind of move we can do here.
That's not bad.
Let's knock some heads.
We'll hold no matter what.
Oh. Okay. Yep. That is a problem.
Now, if Rage gets played, I feel like I'm in trouble. But you got a nice and healthy hand over there.
Oh,
I can't even
man.
act like that's not an issue. Yeah,
Uh,
that's no problem. Hulking Scalon.
okay, let me think. Oh, I'm super close as well.
Yep. Now you see why I was a little concerned about Rage. I feel like that kind of
yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that defensive Broma has properly stitched me up there.
Immune lethal. So this is that's a nice little side of field that you got right here. This is a good combo.
Okay.
On the plus side, if he is not able to address this, I might be able to do something. Maybe.
Yeah.
If I'm able to survive.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. I think I can survive, but I definitely don't think I can get you this turn. Damn. Yeah, I think I have to do that. Sorry, I had to deliberate for a second there to see if I could find
no,
anything.
do your thing. That was a bit clutch. All right. Yeah, I think I need to
Mhm.
get a bit active on that.
We're on the cusp of a major discovery.
Alright.
Norden the Wolf.
Double guard. Dude. Okay.
Oh my.
Speak, citizen.
Alright.
There's no promise of second place. Watch this.
And hopefully this might be the. Let's see.
Chimeric spirit of the sky,
Ooh.
guide us.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. Nicely done.
Close one. Most def.
Yeah, I think I got a bit too eager at one point when I started hitting face. Probably needed to leave that for like another turn or two. But nicely done though.
Thank you. I was definitely scared of that Rage.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you cleaned it up nicely at the end there.
Did you want to do a best two out of three, or did you want to kind of keep flowing with some different type of matches?
Oh, wait, you can, like, if you want to keep going with the same, you can do that. I'm probably going to be switching it up pretty much every
Yeah,
match.
I'll do the same.
Let's go for this one.
I think I will try. It's been a while since I played Halado. I think I can feel like I can bring a build in. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I'll try to match a different. I'll play Halalu, but I guess my version. Feel like it's been a while.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think I'll. All right, I'll give this. I'll give it a shot.
All right. So, if you've been playing since release, then you've got to see every content release come out, right?
Yes.
Do you, what were the sort of ones that really stood out to you in terms of like the card sets that were released?
I wish I don't have the exact name, but it was the content expansion that brought in Invasion officially. I feel like that expansion is what changed the game, for lack of a better term, in terms of just creating a different avenue for different type of play style altogether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a completely different way of playing the game than what had sort of been established previously.
The 3-card attribute, honestly, was the best addition. If I have to be honest, the introduction of it altogether, I feel like that just expanded the game all the way.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that sort of change just makes so much of a difference to every way of playing the game. It's different for control, it's different for aggro, it's different for combo. You can do so much more when you have access to all of those attributes.
Speak, citizen.
It allows you to shore up weaknesses that you couldn't otherwise do with the 2 attribute play style or build. I feel like that was it just created so much avenue to explore different types of possibilities, hence the playing the exact same build but in completely different ways. Like I don't touch Namira's Shrine at all, especially since they nerfed her. Namira's Shrine was much broken before she got nerfed, but I never played that card for some reason.
Yeah, I don't really touch it much post nerf either, but it sometimes has its place.
Oh no, it's a good card when played correctly. Like, yeah, that's what I'm probably gonna see.
There we go. All right. Ooh, okay.
What would you say is your favorite expansion release in the game, or what would you say is your favorite expansion or favorite card that came out?
I think I'd agree with you. I think it was Morrowind that the 3 attributes came with. So I really like the sort of avenues that opened, as we were just saying.
I will not waste words on one so ugly.
What else? Ooh, hang on. Yeah, we'll do this. Isle of Madness, the story mode, that released all the like split cards. I think it's a lot of fun. I like all of what all the split cards sort of add to the game. So those are probably
The story mode is slept on.
Yeah,
For me anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I just recently I've been sort of playing through all of them and recording them to keep them archived somewhere post shutdown, and they are like a lot of fun to get through. Just sort of the weird environments that you're thrown into with all of the conditions that they give the AI and so on.
I feel like the AI used to bother me a little bit. I prefer an actual person, but the AI, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like some of the match stipulations I kind of wasn't for, in terms of it kind of limited you to playing a certain way. I feel like that was the only drawback story mode, but they had to, freshen up the pace in their way. So it's just a minor nitpick.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want the whole game to work like story mode, but having it as an option, I think, is good for adding some, just a bit of different flavor.
Great. And of course, it's great for the people that didn't care for the online play or just prefer to play casually.
Yeah, exactly. Providing sort of a different way to play things.
Oh, nice. And that's the Halalu strafe. Easy pick apart.
Ooh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. I was wondering why you gave me Javelin, but that makes sense.
I promise you, the cards I had to choose from, I'm giving you pretty much the same thing.
Fair. Wait. I'm just gonna wait.
All right, let's get a little bit aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Behold the power of the night.
My bow is ready.
Easy. Wee.
Ooh. Alright, yep.
I slay the unworthy.
We must help the people of Varden.
I really like this card, Duke Venom Drain.
I do too.
I think he's a lot of fun. He, like, kind of hard to work with, because this usually just happens instantly, but...
Should have been more worthy.
In my experience, he's just simply hard to survive. He dies
Yeah.
pretty much when you play him. Every time.
Yep.
It never fails.
Yeah, same here. It's just... The guy never sticks, but... Here's a lot of fun, though.
But no, it's a great card. Great combo potential as well.
Should have been more worthy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Make my death mean something.
You're on...
What would you say is the type of deck that you
They
always win against? For lack of a better term. Like a build that you say and it's like, yeah, no problem. I know I'm going to win against this.
Ooh. This might sound crazy, but I like am pretty good at getting around orc decks normally. Like they've
Sorry, which build?
orcs, warrior orcs.
Orcs, okay.
Yeah. Like I've just because I'm normally I'm more on the control side of things, and like I've heard people sort of complain, going like, oh, orcs are busted, da 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 da. And it's like, well, not really. If you're playing like anything resembling a control deck, it's pretty easy to deal with them in my experience. But obviously sometimes I still get rolled by them, but
should have been more worthy.
usually
In
it
my
does
experience,
okay.
No, like orcs are consistent in the fact that they can always sneak up on you regarding their power. The fact that they can boost their creatures in different ways, attack and defense.
Yes.
They have a few supports that kind of help them in their favor. But the monsters do as well. Like they have a lot of utility when they work in unison.
Yeah. Oh, orcs are definitely strong. I just find that once you get them to like turn 12, how much?
Yeah.
What can an orc deck do at that point usually?
You're pretty much wearing them down.
Yeah, correct. So,
Unless they play the 4-cost card, the 4 or 5 attack that limits everyone to 7 magicka, it's a wrap for orcs past turn 10, 11.
yeah. No, that one can be annoying to deal with, but other than that,
Only in the initial stages.
yeah, correct. What about you? What do you usually steamroll?
Oh, easy, hands down, invade. All day, every day. I see invade, I smile like, okay. Like, don't get me wrong, invade can have a OP hand and they can just they can win off of that, no doubt. But in terms of if it's evenly matched or if I'm able to just remotely control a catch up, it's over.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Usually their wall is there's been a few creative invade players who don't focus on the portal, the wall, like they'll focus on maybe getting 1 or 2 buffs, but then they'll swarm the field with some decent attack creatures. I feel like I played the blue-yellow versions of invade that kind of work that, for lack of a better term, but
mm-hmm.
other than that, most invade players focus on the wall, the portal, and once you break that, it's over.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely a matter of how quickly they're able to snowball their invading. But yeah, as you say, if you can get the portal out of the way, they usually just give up pretty quickly.
Yeah. It's fun watching them. It's always been fun for me watching like easy wins. I don't want to say easy wins. But it's predictable wins for lack of a better term. Like once you're able to kind of stop their flow, it's not really much they can do aside from a few creative players. But I feel like Tribunal's always been the build that always gives me the difficult matches every time, hands down, nonstop.
Just the like super removal heavy ones.
Tribuna just does too much in regard to their removal, the variety of access to cards. Mostly their way to just. I feel like Tribunal just naturally counters Telvanni. At least that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from with that. Actually, I think you're probably right there. Yeah,
Like for me, they have a significant amount of draw power from just unexpected places. Like they can access the graveyard with Ordinary and Necromancer, but there's the willpower card that allows you to draw copies of itself, and they can play Dark Rebirth on it to just multiply that effect. They can go plus in a majority of ways. Yeah, their utility and just overall just how do I put it? Like it's a jack of all trades deck. You can be aggressive with it. You can play control with it. Tribunal is kind of all around a good build if you play it right.
yeah, yeah. No, I'd agree with that. Tribunal is definitely strong.
Do you have a build that you feel like is like just difficult, or I don't say you get your ass bust by it, but that gives you problems for lack of a better term?
Yeah, I think. I think it might be Empire as the one that gets me the most. Just the combination of having a New Era and Alien Guardians in the same deck always ruins me, eh? Yeah, that's probably the one that I suffer the most with. Telvanni can sometimes stop me up. But there's ways to get around it as well, I think.
I'm not gonna lie, New Era. There is no answer to that, in my opinion. I feel like that card is just, yeah, it's a bit much. I feel like that's the only card I think that should cost 13.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, especially since you can get up to 13 in Empire anyway.
Easily. Easily.
Yeah, just you can't look at a New Era next to the Red Year and say that those are, balanced off each other or whatever.
Not at all. The fact that the Red Year's at 1 is ridiculous when you consider New Era. New Era should be at 1.
Yes.
Easily.
Oh yeah, I'd agree.
That should be a limited card.
Yep. 100%.
Even if you could leave it 11, but leave it at 1 cost, like 1 copy, and I feel like that would balance it immediately. 3 copies is nuts.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like Tullius Conscription, a 12 cost card that allows you to summon 1 creature each that costs 2 or less. I feel like that should be limited to 1 as well. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, well they did.
That card is bonkers.
They did nerf Conscription, but it is still really strong for what it does. Let me just let's do this one. See if I can pull this off.
I am in the mood for Skillsworn.
Skillsworn, sweet.
Yeah, I'm in the mood for that. It's been a while. Like, I'm definitely got to do a live session. I just realized I should have invited the chat in just for people that's tuning in or whatnot. Shout out to anyone watching, though, of course. Appreciate y'all tuning in, always.
Yeah, and as I say, this will be a YouTube video at a later date as well.
Heck yeah.
So, yeah, good stuff all around. Is there anything specific you're looking to do before the shutdown?
Honestly, I was working on like a top 10 series, but I feel like that's, I don't want to say redundant, but in terms of archiving it, I don't have enough time to do it for all the expansions that came out. and I don't feel like going through old recordings. I wanted to kind of keep on new recordings and obviously kind of, just do it in a fresher way compared to the past. But anyway, that kind of got shut down with the announcement in November.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, at one point I was considering doing a deck for new players where like it's, super cheap on what it costs to craft all the cards. But again, like what's the point in doing that now?
Sucks too. I've always been curious about the resource cost for this game in terms of the maintenance. Whether there's just not enough people available to work on this anymore, like they've just ported to other titles, other work. But there's not. I feel like there's just opportunity to keep this game flowing.
Yeah, I think there are ways that they could have done it, but I don't know.
I've always wondered behind the scenes if
Mhm.
what's been going on in terms of what the maintenance mode is like. They've had new variants, so that's always made me wonder if there's been possibilities for new cards, but just not enough player support, for lack of a better term. I've always wondered if there was enough player support in maintenance mode, or if it even mattered.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine, there's probably like 2 people in the office who log in for a couple of hours each day and check on the game and set up the events and then move on with their lives.
Die like a dog.
But, we don't really know that for certain. There may be... there may have been a potential for it to get more cards, and I mean, I think ultimately the decisions probably come from, a higher up in an office somewhere who's been like, why are you wasting all these resources on this game no one really plays? Which, that sucks, but it is just a business decision at the end of the day.
And business has, I mean, negatively, speaking in terms of how business has been in the game industry, it's not a secret that there's been so many job cuts, job losses that to me, it was no surprise when it kind of came through. Like, it was a long time coming.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that completely.
Here, watch and
But
learn.
yeah, it is a shame.
I've had some great matches though, in terms of the variety of play I've had. What's the NPO clan in particular? I feel like that's a clan that made me realize how widespread this game is. Like, I spoke about watching competitive players when the game was really popular, when Bethesda was supporting it, for lack of a better term. When
Mhm.
there were more ads for it in terms of encouraging people to kind of come through, and there were kind of major esports players, for lack of a better term, playing. After that, after the hype ended, I found out that NPO on Discord, they were the ones that were hosting tournaments on a regular basis, just keeping the game very active in terms of the online community. I never knew that. But anyway, it was exciting to kind of find out about them and just the whole movement, the community movement overall.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely people who've been doing work for the game the last couple of years, which has been awesome to see and interact with and so on. And
Do you have a particular content creator that you favor or have watched before you started recording?
Daryloth was the one that sort of really got me into the idea of, I could make videos about this. I liked the way he approached a lot of his videos. And it was just kind of one of those things where it was something I kind of half thought about for a while, and then it was like, you know what? Yeah, I could do this, right?
I feel you. It's that part.
Yeah.
Like where you felt you was good at the game. It's like, yo, I could record this as well. It's nothing.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that. So it's
But now Daryloff, I watched his videos as well. When he first was on, and he had a more classical approach, with his videos and gameplay compared to mine, which I appreciated more. Traditional decks and just traditional style of telling. And when he went into lore in terms of going into that aspect, just took off with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's really blown up recently, which is awesome to see. But yeah, I agree that he definitely had a very sort of classic approach to making Legends content.
Different avenue. I feel like a lot of people gravitated and reached out to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The person who I watched before, like I started recording was the Wargenator,
Mm.
and he was I can't explain it, but he was just very just easy to watch. He had a
Yes.
very just brief explanation to the build he was playing, why he was playing, and certain cards he liked, and it was casual. It was just very chill all the time, and I just appreciated that. He had a different build every time. I was like, damn, this guy plays a lot of cards. But then I was watching his matches and comparing it to mine privately, and I was like, nah, I could really bang this out. You know, let me show y'all something. Anyway, it was his videos that kind of motivated me to jump into the game.
Yeah, his videos are great. We had him on for an interview a little while ago, and he's also just great to talk to as well.
I'd imagine.
So yeah, big props to him for the work that he's been doing.
Yeah, he's been a while. I think I think I'll be mispronouncing his name. Justin. Yeah, I don't know the last name, but there's a few content creators that started way before, the OG content creators. Shout out to them.
Yeah, definitely. Justin Larson, is that who you're thinking of?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't want to butcher the last name, but it was a Justin something. But he's also another person I feel like he was more ranked competitively. He was, I think he was more of a professional player, but nonetheless, he has some great fucking builds as well.
Halt, I say.
Yeah, absolutely. He did some really great work for the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other great thing is there's been such a wide variety of people who've been making, videos or streams or whatever. And you've got, the hyper-competitive people who are pushing Legend every single month, and you've got people who are just messing around, playing builds they think are fun, and people who are somewhere in the middle. But yeah, that variety has been awesome to see and great to be a part of as well.
100%.
Here, watch and learn. Stay down.
I'll even newer content creators that try to come in the game right now.
Time to join the fight.
I just see if
Yeah.
there's I don't have anyone that comes to mind, but I have seen a few newer content creators trying to also do their thing or talk about Elder Scrolls in a different way. So I've always appreciated how there's just different ways to talk about this damn game.
Yeah,
It's a card game.
completely. Yeah, well, that's the thing is it's so simple on the surface, but there's so much depth to it at the same time.
Speak, citizen.
Like the way the cards tie into the actual Elder Scrolls universe. I've always appreciated that. I feel like the lore videos Dilo puts out really shine a light on that.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that.
The forest is my strength and my courage.
By Stendar's breath, we are ready for battle.
Always get one whack one. Woo.
Oh, that is not a whack one.
Stay down. Your fear betrays you. For all
Nicely done.
Thank you.
I had the Unite the Houses in hand and a purple card, but I never found a way to get blue.
I fear that build. I lose. To it.
Yeah, no,
Literally, I've gotten to the point where I can predict that card and I can do nothing about it. Once I start seeing that card get ready to be played, it's over. I can't do anything.
Yeah, well, that's
And I usually find out when it's too late. Like usually my opponent's building up an insanely large defense, and I'm like, yo, what's going on here? He keeps stalling, and then it's that card I start to see. Like, yep.
Yeah, that's the thing.
time.
Is you can completely hide it in your hand and have all the pieces, and you just need the right time to play it.
Ugh, I fear that card. I've never won against it.
Really?
I feel like in my entire time playing Elder Scrolls Legends, I've united the houses once. Once. And I've tried to. I don't really. It's not a build I prefer to play all the time, but yeah, I've only tried to do it once. I feel like it's just too stalling. That's why I don't like it. It's all defense and then that one little combo.
No, that's fair.
Like,
I don't think it's the most impressive. Like, I think some people make it out to be a bit more impressive than it actually is. Because, you just build the deck around it, and you can usually get there eventually. But
with the tricolor attributes, it made it much more easier to even get that card in play now.
yeah, exactly. You just need one tricolor card, and then you're just looking for two other relatively cheap ones.
And it's easy to generate. Very easy.
Yeah, yeah, I just lucked out and never drew anything to generate blue, unfortunately. But generally speaking, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I forgot about Unite the Houses. That's a build I usually lose to. I don't have a lot of recordings on that, fortunately. I don't feel like a lot of people play that, thank God.
Yeah, well, it's definitely
still.
not competitive, obviously. But it is fun when it works for the person playing it.
Yes, when it works.
It sucks to lose to, but it's fun
I've
to
had some
play.
creative builds.
Yeah,
I feel like I've had one or two creative builds that play Unite the Houses, but they do it aggressively in terms of getting creatures on the field to attack. They can still kind of play defense, but that card would sneak in, and I feel like that's the best part about Unite the Houses. When you don't see it coming and it starts to form up, it's like, oh, that's what you were doing. Damn it.
yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
it
yeah.
has a good surprise factor to it.
Yeah, it's a little annoying when you can tell that it's
Oh,
coming,
yeah, I know.
and then you can't do anything about it.
Yeah,
But when it comes to
it's worse than
surprise,
Parthenax combos.
ooh, I don't know about I don't know about that one, man.
I feel, well, yeah, I feel like I'm capping Parthenax. Like if we have two Parthenax in the grave, you have that call, tear, the 3-cost, purple card in the hand. Yeah, there's not much you can do except concede.
Yeah.
See if you can outrun me. It's been fun, but this is where our little game ends.
Yeah, I got a little greedy on that.
Nice try. Care to go again?
Your death will be swift. It's been fun, but this is where our little game ends.
Outside of the series ending, did you have any, I guess, forays into other titles that you were thinking about?
Yeah, well now my plan is just to move on to the regular Elder Scrolls games. You know, Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, so on. I've
You
been
plan on covering them all, or?
yeah, I'd like to eventually.
Okay.
I've like very gradually been working through some, like occasionally when I'm streaming and at some point you do get a bit sick of Legends.
Yeah.
So when that happens, I'll like switch over to Skyrim or whatever for a bit. And that's been fun to work through.
No, I feel you.
Steal from folks who ain't using it. That's the
I feel like I've played Skyrim. And I feel like I have a thing about like repetitive videos or not adding something kind of different. Like I've
Yeah.
thought about playing Skyrim, but it's like I'm just playing it. You know, I've seen better people play Skyrim where it's like I'll be excited to watch someone else's take on it versus me create my own video on it.
It's been fun.
Yeah, you definitely need to like, I think find a oh no.
Oh, I got something good. Nice.
All right, well, change of plans. Oh man.
Oh, that's what you was gonna set up something nice.
It's been fun. This is where our little game ends.
But yeah, what about you? Do you have any plans for your channel
Sweet meats.
after, the inevitable?
I've been playing Marvel Snap. I feel like I'm gonna officially start making some. I'm not gonna go crazy with gameplay the way I do with Elder Scrolls Legends on Marvel Snap, but I just plan on talking about some of the cards that's just been released. I feel like I just really like the artwork and just some of the card combos. Marvel Snap is, I don't want to say simplified, but it's very less complex compared to Elder Scrolls, but it's still fun nonetheless in regard to the fast-paced gameplay. So I feel like I'm gonna gravitate towards making a few videos for that and probably expand from there.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard relatively good things about Marvel Snap from people who have been playing it. Obviously people who've been playing this game have been searching for something else to play. And that seems to be one that's been fairly popular.
Have you ever tried Hearthstone?
No, I haven't. That's one I've had very mixed reviews on, so I'm kind of not super excited about the concept, but I could probably be convinced. I just don't think I'd be making videos on it for my channel specifically.
I feel you.
I hear and obey.
I tried to play it way back when. I wasn't really feeling it at the time, but uh-oh. So that's what he does. Okay. Wow.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, this can stay.
For a second I thought it might, but no, that's completely fair. That thing probably shouldn't be left around.
That I have no idea what to say to that combo. Fast turn, that's just nuts.
Let none defile our temple.
I mean, it's just token mage, right?
Yeah, right.
Nothing else to see here.
Token. That was one hell of a token. Keep that. Yeah, this is problematic right here. But no more.
Ooh. Speaking of rage.
Oof, lucky card. But yeah, this ain't. Yeah.
Hey, hold off my goods.
No time for pleasantries.
Potions, sweetmeats, get your supplies here.
I like the build you've got going on here of kind of Dunmer veteran.
I'm a big fan of Riven Purveyor's effect in regard to just reducing the cost of creatures in the build. That's a similar attribute. I feel like it's just a very slept on card.
Yeah.
It has a lot of synergy as well.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's super useful and works really well with a lot of different things.
They won't even see my blade coming. Hey, hold off my goods. Hey, hold off my goods.
Not the best feel.
And strike your head from your body, you
I want to be an assassin, like Naryu.
Your orders.
Kind of running out of steam here.
Like Naryu. Hey, hold off my goods. We know. Speak, citizen.
How can Uncle Crassus help?
How can I serve?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
In regard to
Your orders.
the community, what do you feel is I won't say a negative aspect, but an aspect of the community that you prefer that's less preferable to you? I won't say like what's a shitty thing the community does. Like I've always felt the rage on people that play a particular type of build, like, you know, hating on them in a particular style. I've always felt that was kind of corny.
I will have
Yeah.
Like, when Invade came out, I feel like there was a lot of shade thrown towards Invade just because they like playing it. It was a very fast build, definitely had some areas where it was overpowered, but it was still a fun build nonetheless.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. I think some people take the game way too seriously. And I guess actually that probably kind of encapsulates most of my issues, is that people just take it too seriously about a lot of things. Right? There's people who,
generally speaking,
get super sweaty about people who aren't playing Control or whatever, aren't playing aggro, and they're like, oh, Control's boring, it's solitaire, like, you're wasting everyone's time if you play Control, or whatever. It's just like, yeah, as you say, people, like, something that's always rubbed me the wrong way is people who, like, I don't know, dunk on other people for having fun. You know?
Agreed.
Like, I don't like Invade. I'll be real with you, I don't like playing against Invade. But if that's how you want to play the game, and that's fun to you, then you are playing the game correctly, because you are playing a video game and you are having fun. So,
Agreed.
as much as, like, and I'm sure you've had the same at some strategies, if you see the same strategy over and over again, it gets boring playing against the same thing. But, like,
it's usually a couple of like aggressive builds. For example, I forgot the red blue combo. Well, actually, Battle Mage.
yeah.
I feel like Battle Mage is predictable, very straightforward. Whether you want to play Atronachs or just straightforward, aggressive creatures. I feel like those builds, I don't want to say are annoying, but yeah, I don't prefer to go against it. But it's part of the game. There's always going to be aggressive players that just want to shoot to the top with a very fast build, and plenty of avenue for that.
Yeah, and again, like, as I say, the thing that bothers me the most is just if I see the same thing over and over again. Like, there'll be some days where, as you say, those sort of, like, Prophecy Battle Mage or whatever, if you come up against, like, 5 of those in a row, it's like, what am I doing here,
Yeah, and those builds are insanely fast. A Prophecy Battle Mage, I'm not going to lie, if I get below 7 health in his turn 4 or 5, I'll just give him the game. I'm not even going to waste time, because even if I attack him, they'll just put something in the field to pretty much get me next game. It's usually nothing I could do.
Yeah, but
And it's just part of the game.
like, then again, I'd say the same. If I came up against Control Empire 5 times in a row, that also just gets boring, because again, it's just the same thing over and over again. So I think a lot of the sort of copy-paste decks and kind of just the repetitiveness that happens kind of turns me off the game a little bit, but that sort of comes and goes in and out of fashion depending on what people are interested in playing at a given time as well.
Agreed.
So,
Like, some people kind of take a break for a little bit. Some people just, like, I'll take a break for a bit where I won't play for a day, a couple of days, etc. But I have a mode where, let's say I'm losing to a particular build consecutively, I'll play a build that I know is annoying, that'll kind of like, for example, that's when I'll put on Evade.
yeah.
Like, I'll play an Evade just to kind of poop on people that's pooping on me. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, if aggro's just wrecking me, I'll put on Invade and pretty much wreck aggro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, literally last week I was getting sick of playing against, like, Control Dragons over and over again. And I'm not an aggro player, but I was like, right, it's time for Aggro Crusader, because I can't deal with these, like, 30-minute long games of just playing Pathanax over and over again.
Once you play 3 Call Dragons and I see a Pathanax come out, I already know it's going to be a long match.
Yeah.
If I already know that you have plenty in the hand, it's over. I'm not even going. It's not really much you can do. Like, usually when an opponent has 2 Pathanaxes, one in the hand, and you know one of them is a Soul Tear, pardon me. Easy win, easy concede, I should say.
Yeah, it's just not worth your time. And again, it's that whole thing of, we've both seen that a million times before, so it's not even interesting to play against. It's just like, it's this shit again. Awesome.
Yep. Yep. Usually I just say to myself, like, yep, looks like he got pooped on, so he's trying to poop on someone else. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, yeah, but...
Oh, so
yeah.
I'm running all blue at this point, just giving you a heads up.
Yeah.
A bit of Ward, Atronachs, and yeah, that's actually about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd expect from all blue, to be fair, so look forward to
There's
seeing
something I
it.
respect about the one attribute builds as well. I feel like I'm always glad to have played at least one. Like the purple all attribute build, I feel like is very effective still. I don't see it often, but see it enough.
Yeah, I quite like mono yellow as well.
Yes,
I think there's a lot you can do with that.
the token swarm is insane in mono yellow. They can boost their attack creatures like it's nothing.
Yeah, and it just gets super out of hand super fast.
They best not anger me. All too simple.
Right.
If you're
Do
looking
one of
for
those.
truth, you'll find it.
Okay.
What is your favorite card if you had to pick one? Not necessarily what you think is the best, just a personal favorite.
Personal favorite. Gotta think on that one. I would say I like the Divine's Experiments. Just in regards to the artwork, the synergy, I think it's the 11 course card that's in the backdrop.
Yes.
But that's the only reason why I like it. I feel like I like the card kind of act, the effect of duplicating it and the artwork kind of mirroring that, for lack of a better term, is that pretty fire. It stands out to me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it is a very cool card.
The best protection money.
For what I can do.
Annoying will. Gods take you.
Honestly, there's a part of me that likes the premium. Well, not even the premium, the classic Unstoppable Rage. Classic Unstoppable Rage, I feel like had a great artwork. It mirrored the giant in Skyrim that you fight.
Yes.
That has the giant club, and when you die, usually, at least at the time when I was playing, you pop up in the air.
Yeah.
Anyway, Unstoppable Rage kind of gives me that feeling. I love the artwork for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they nailed the look for Unstoppable Rage. And just like, it feels like you've been hit by a giant when someone surprises you with Unstoppable Rage.
I mean, speaking as a whole, the premium versions of cars just like look beautiful. Like looking at your Golden Initiate, this is also I've actually featured this as pretty much thumbnails in my videos. It looks that good, like in terms of how clean the image looks. And she has a very good effect. Prophecy, Drain, and a Daedra. That's nice.
Yeah, it's a
is
super
nice.
simple card, but it's an effective one.
Agreed.
Yeah, and no, I'd agree. The premiums are definitely
My magnificent.
all really well done as well.
Yeah, even looking at the alpha look, fire.
Speak, citizen.
Do you have a particular favorite card of yours?
My pet card has always been Spider Lair, the 7-cost green support that summons random spiders.
Every turn?
Yeah.
You can get a shackle,
Yeah,
lethal, guard.
It's not a good card, but it's my favorite.
Now, it's an annoying card when played right, because you usually
Yeah.
get something in either a lethal or a shackle, and it does get annoying per turn, but yeah, it's 7 calls for a lot of that.
Yeah, it's not great, but I've always loved playing it, and I've won more than a couple games because of it, so it can't be too bad, right?
No, not at all. I feel like everyone has their kind of favorite card that they play, regardless of whether it's good or not.
Yeah, it usually
I feel like
ends.
yeah.
It usually ends up in most of my lists that have green, even if it doesn't make sense at all. It's like, yeah, we'll put the spiders in. Go on.
The Red Orin demand your death.
I feel like Baron of Terror is one of those cards. Not my favorite in terms of artwork, but this is a card I just splash in because it all blue deck. How could you not put that in?
Yeah, it works. I think Baron of Tears like slightly underrated, because it does its job super effectively in the right list.
Your blood stands forth.
Oh, I forgot about all this. Oops. Conjurer's Third and 2 Necromancer's Amulets. That's not fun.
Watch yourself now.
We'll see this.
I hate this card with the passion. This is a card I feel like it should just be nerfed. The fact that this card can go through your build and take out multiple copies, nuts. It should be limited to one.
Yeah, I can never hate it though because of, you know, the Cool Dragon and the looping nonsense that goes on. It's like, it's kind of a necessary evil sometimes. I do think
Not gonna lie.
it's incredibly especially as a 4/4 for 4. Like, I think it could be a 5 cost perfectly fine.
I slay the unworthy.
Honestly, agreed. If you could raise the cost to 5 and people will still tech 3 in the build. It's just still good.
Yeah. Yeah.
This might be handy.
You know, now that I think about it, I feel like if they should have done one more patch on this game where they just nerfed a whole bunch of cards, where they just made it limited, new era,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even semi-limited. If that would make sense, like have cards limited to 2. Like Red Deer, you can play 2 copies of that. It's not that broken. It's a great card, no doubt, but 2 copies is not gonna. Actually, no. You combine that with Unkano, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think one more balanced patch would have made a world of difference. There are so many things that are just slightly overpowered that if there'd been one more fix, there would have been so much more play happening post maintenance mode.
100% agreed. Maybe even buff some cards as well that don't see the light of play. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Should have been more worthy.
I smell the stench of the living.
Now I We'll see about this.
You can't escape.
Yeah,
I'm not worthy.
GG.
nicely done.
Underestimate me.
Alright, I'm gonna pull out one of the real good ones here. Give me a second.
All right. Let me get a semi-sweaty bill. Semi-sweaty. What's the build I haven't played that really should get some last minute attention I'm thinking about? I think I did Gil Swan. Did Archer. I think we talked about Orcs. Not sure if I should play. Dagoff. I think Dagoff. No, we did Dagoff. Oh, Daggerfall. Duh.
I like Daggerfall. I think it's a
This is like,
slept on class.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're all good. I was just gonna say I think it's slept on for like not item decks.
I love item decks, even though they're not. I don't think they're good competitively, but this is an example of a build I just love to play regardless of how low tier it is. Like I just play it for the fun of it.
Yep, no, that's fair.
I never expect to win with Daggerfall. It's just it requires a bit more setup, and my opponent usually can stomp on it.
I've
But yeah, it's still fun nonetheless.
yeah, well, I've been sort of playing around with like I guess like a Rage Daggerfall or a Slay Daggerfall, using like the vampires and all the red cards that have Slay as well. Because then you have access to stuff like Mentor's Ring that you wouldn't have access to in, you know, Slay Ebonheart or something. So
How's the combo potential? Do you require a lot of setup for that, or it's kind of a easy kind of put down and play type of build?
it's not too bad because you have access. You know, you have access to a lot of ramp, so you can get to the point where you're playing your Rage on the same turn as your big vampires or whatever. Or you're setting up a charge creature with Mentor's Ring and then, you know, completely wiping your opponent's board and so on, or dealing a ton of damage to face all at once.
I missed this card back in the day, like back before the expansions.
Yeah.
When Ordinary and Necromancer was a thing, and you would just cheese bringing this card back and just gaining so much health. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Found me out, did you?
Yeah.
This is a great premium though. I don't even think I have this one. Nice.
Yeah, it's a nice one, that one, actually. It looks dope. I love it. So many of the alt arts are great, eh?
Oh, 100% agreed. Yeah, this one is silky.
As long as I draw breath.
Oh, Nushu. This is different. This is an example of a card I wish they would just have buffed.
Yeah.
Like make that like a 4/6 or something. You know, not saying it's a bad card. It's not gonna lie, great artwork. I haven't seen it in such a long time.
I tend the sharpest looking
Ooh,
one in these
okay.
aisles. As long as I draw breath.
Lord.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
See how they like someone who fights back.
Talk about a card you haven't seen in a while. Wabajock.
If it wasn't valuable, they wouldn't lock it up.
As long as I draw breath off the grass now.
Okay.
Don't leave any of them alive. Don't leave any of them alive.
Yeah.
This find belongs to me.
Let me think about this.
Okay.
Are there any like particular mechanics that you're a big fan of? Like I'm a big fan of Slay, for just chucking into all sorts of things. But is there any that sort of stand out to you?
Aside from Slay, I do respect Slay in terms of, yeah, the effects and the way you can kind of I feel like Slay has some of the most unique effects in the game, especially considering Night Mother, Game Ender.
Yeah.
So if I was to say outside of Slay, mechanics. I'm not gonna lie, I've appreciated how Breakthrough and Unstoppable Rage kind of created its own kind of style of play. If I'm being honest, you have ways where you can. The classic way, I believe, was where you had a large monster, I guess a heavy attack monster, Belligerent Giant, for example, the 7-cost creature that 7/4 that you can pop a creature back to the hand or destroy a support. And then the next turn you will play Unstoppable Rage. I feel like that was the introduction to Breakthrough and Rage. But as you were able to start increasing your Magicka, it made different avenues for Breakthrough and Rage to kind of come through. So I feel like that's a mechanic I more or less respect.
Yep. No, that's fair.
And I've always appreciated orcs, like their synergy. Like, part of the reason why I wish they made like more expansions, there was more supports, because you could make more orcs, and they don't even have to have high attack or defense, but depending on their effect, they would just be a good card. You know, give a orc ward, for lack of a better term, or every turn give a friendly orc ward, something of that nature. You can make that a 6-cost 1/1, and some orc player will find a way to make that work.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Yeah, I think the orcs have some of the best synergy in the game, definitely.
I would say Khajiit. If I was to put money on it, I'd say
no.
Khajiit got the best synergy.
Yeah, that's fair. I completely forgot about that, so no, you're probably right there.
Legendary.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that. Yep. Yep. No, you're not wrong there either. Okay.
And on top of that, they released I forgot the 12 course name, the Ultimate Heist. I just remembered it. 12 course. It lowers its cost by 3 every time you pilfer the drain, and it pretty much takes your opponent's front room. That combined with pilfer was over. Like that card, I'm surprised is still in the game.
Yeah, that one's a problem as well.
That's a card I'd make limited just off of the strength of that card. Like that is broken. You can play 3 copies for 0 cost depending on how good your pilfer was.
Yeah, definitely.
Mother of mud.
We must protect our stronghold.
I will have your head.
Okay.
Hail to Sithis.
How did this attack get so high? Where did it come from? Oh, glass over remedy. Okay. Ooh. Oh Lord, it's over next turn.
We must protect our stronghold. They're in my sights.
I'm ready to split some skulls.
Interesting.
Right.
Hail to Sithis.
I got 2 cards. I got to play.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Yeah.
Feel my wrath. Time to march.
Can we do it? Yes, we can. Alright, good game. That was close.
Good job.
One more turn and you would have had me. This was all drag. The, weird neutral
That was a
cards.
1 attribute build.
Yep.
Oh, you did play that field support. Nice.
Yeah.
The Slaughterfishes, they just came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Very
The Slaughterfish are the backup. In case the normal plan doesn't work, so... Yeah, no, happy
I'd
with
like to
that.
play that just one more time, if you don't mind. Just one more time.
You want to run back the same decks?
You know what? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get some better items in the hand. Hopefully quicker.
Yeah, I mean, that Master of Arms would have completely had me if it had been a different turn, so... It's definitely got potential.
Oh, no doubt. All right. You know what? Let's respect this curve. What would you say is your favorite balanced card? Like a card that you can say, yep, this card is good just the way it is. Perfect.
Oh, that's a good question. There's one... There's one that... Oh god, I have to think about this now. I know there's one in particular that I think is really well balanced. I just need to think what card I'm actually thinking of. It's a Slay card. Sword of the Inferno. The item.
2-cost item.
I think that's
gives you 2 attack, but also allows you to do 2 damage to another creature.
Yeah, so the creature deals damage to itself and then 2 to something else.
Correct.
I think that
It
card.
also gains to attack, right?
Yeah, correct. But I think that's perfectly, like, beautifully balanced because you know, if you put it on a lethal creature, you have to think, am I willing to sacrifice this lethal creature in order to remove something else? You know, it's not... Because if you compare it to the crossbow, you know, you stick the crossbow on a lethal creature, you kill something instantly. Easy. Done. Whereas with the sword, you have to think about, am I willing to damage my own creature to do whatever it is I'm trying to do here?
It is more balanced when you think about it. Agreed.
So,
More than likely, you're thinking about sacrificing the creature, or if you're putting it, well, obviously, if you put it on a high attack creature, it's not making much of a difference. But it's more of a strategic card when you think about lower cost defense cards, or just leave the creatures altogether.
yeah, exactly. It forces you to think about, are you willing to lose something to do something else? Which I really like. I think that's very well executed, how they've done that.
I mean, generally speaking, I will say Elder Scrolls does have a lot of balanced cards. Like just looking at some of the cards that we're playing right now, Season Cap and the new card that came out has a great effect. You know, well, she had a great effect, but balanced at 4/4. You know, she just has to survive to get the attack off.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, that's spicy. I like it.
Wrath of Sithis is low key a card that I'm excited to always kind of play here and there.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a great card competitively. Like this is a card that sneaks opponents. You don't see that coming.
No, yeah, definitely. It's one that always just kind of comes out of nowhere and completely messes up your plan for the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
Name it. I'll forge it.
Shadowfen Priest is a card I feel like is perfectly balanced. 5 cost, 4/4, but it can silence a creature or destroy an enemy support.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with
Pretty
that.
good at that effect.
Yeah, it's very, like, it's efficient, but it's definitely not overpowered at all either.
It's potent, but
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely not. It's like a strategic card.
Yeah.
Like you can play it for power. 4/4, it's decent. 5 cost, not that tough, but it's overall a good package.
Yes, it's doing a lot for, like, a reasonable cost, but it's not at all, you know, it's not power crept to the point where it's busted or anything. Yeah, that one hurts to play from hand. 7 Magicka.
Yeah. Yeah, that. I mean, once it's on the field, you know, you can let off a sigh of relief, but yeah, it does suck having that in the hand. That's the only drawback to that card.
Yeah, great, amazing off prophecy, but horrible otherwise.
You a fan of Dre? Or I'm not even pronouncing it right, but I don't think I've played a Dre like attribute only build before. This is my first time.
It's not it's not necessarily strong. The point was more just to be like, what if I only play with these and nothing else? And like, it works sometimes. It's obviously like, if you're looking to hit legends, don't play this. But when it goes off decently well.
I feel you.
So yeah, it went off better last game than it has this game.
Oh, the Slaughterfish, yeah.
Time to test my metal.
Time to march.
Oh man, I don't see the alternate for that guy very much, but he looks mean.
This was the I think it came as a reward for one of the weekend events, but Lord knows I forgot when. Not gonna lie, the weekend events was sometimes nice to see. You know, you get a couple of new variants sometimes sprinkled in. It was a I don't know, signs of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was something to sort of go, I never was like planning to do them or, sort of looking forward to it. But if I'd log in and it's like, oh, there's a new event available, it's like, oh, mean. This is something extra I can do this weekend or whatever. So they were definitely always a nice touch. Yeah.
Oh wow, forgot to put a item on that silly rabbit.
Face me, dog.
Alright.
Immune to silence. Interesting.
If it wasn't valuable, they wouldn't lock it up.
I'm ready to split some skulls.
Obviously, those events, they always had their special flavor or whatever. Were there any that like stood out to you?
I do appreciate the weekend events that just had a variety with regard to the left lane, for example. I'm not going to remember the name, but there was a tournament where the left lane reduced the cost of a random creature in your hand by 1 when you summoned it, and the right lane, I believe, increased it added a 1/1 attack and defense to a random creature on the field. That was an exciting time in terms of just the type of just synergy that was available to you. For example, Bandari Opportunist. There was the aggro players that can just summon and just have that card at 0 cost, and combining that with Swindler's Market allowed you to go nuts in regard to playing 0 cost really fast. It was just a weekend tournament, but there was just so much innovation regarding just that kind of separate lane effect. I loved it.
Yeah. No, that's always a classic, and fun to mess around with that one, definitely. Ooh.
You have a particular of yours that stands out? My favorite was just the traditional gauntlet, like the just bring your favorite deck and play. I don't know. I always felt that was just that was my way of just playing professional, I guess, for lack of a term, if I wanted to really try.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's completely fair, and those ones are definitely fun as well. I quite liked the, random keyword ones.
Okay.
Where, it wasn't random keywords, it was, in the left lane, when you summon a creature, give all other friendly creatures the same keywords or something. And then I'd just have a Dagoth deck that was just, every card had a different keyword or whatever, and you just load them up with everything.
It wasn't a keyword that was generated in your hand, it was generated on the field to another creature, am I correct? Oh no, it gave the creature that you summon a friendly keyword. It was pretty much I'm mistaken.
No, so if it was in the Shadow Lane, so you've got your 2 creatures there, if you played a creature with Guard, it would give your other 2 creatures Guard. Or, something with Ward, everything else gets Ward, or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I haven't done it in a while, to be fair.
I feel like I haven't seen that in such a while as well.
Yeah, it's something similar to that. But anyway, I remember having a lot of fun with that. I think that might have been the first event that I ever did on a stream. But yeah, that one always stood out to me as you can definitely have a lot of deck building potential with that.
Going front, the weekend tournaments was a break from the regular day to day, I guess, from ranked play. The shout out to the arena as well, where you can kind of just draft builds. I forgot to shout that out as well. I felt that when I really was bored with the ranked day to day play, I was just playing arena, just making some random builds, and it was fun just going against other people doing the same thing, and it's competitive as well.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. There's just being forced to sort of shove together random cards that you wouldn't normally play with and try make something happen with it. Those are always a lot of fun.
That's how you drafted as well, in terms of just that type of play where you can just open up some packs, make a random deck from it, and battle it out from there. So it was exciting, at least the implementation of it at the time. It was cool. It was a good breakaway.
Yeah, as you say, if nothing else, it's just a good change of pace from, the standard ladder stuff.
Heck yeah. All right, so now I shall turn it up just a little bit. I feel like I will play one more kind of combo based build and wrap it up with what's that wrap it up? I'm not sure yet. I'll work on that.
All good. All right. What are you gonna miss most about the game?
Oh, the competitive nature.
Mhm.
Just the people that there's people I'm used to seeing online. Obviously the Dan MPO's a player I usually see, and it's usually a great time, great match. A
Yeah.
Ross, I don't see that much. He's usually too high up on the leaderboards for me. But usually when I bump into him, usually when I was like really, going hard, it was always a pleasure to get in the match. Even though it's more than 9 times out of 10 a losing match, but always a fun one.
Yeah,
He always had
definitely.
something up the sleeves. So I've always the competitive nature of the game is always going to be the sweet spot for me.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's completely fair.
How about yourself?
I honestly, like, this is kind of sounds like a super nerdy answer, but the deck building. I've always thought being a good player is like 40% how good you are at playing cards and making decisions, and 60% how well your deck is built and how well you sort of understand that as well.
I hear you.
And I think, some people kind of forget about that, that's such an important part of the game. Just knowing how your deck works. And also, there's a bit of pride as well that comes from building something completely new from a fresh start. And then you test it out for the first time, and then it works, right? Like, it's such a satisfying feeling of, I didn't know if this thing was going to do what I wanted it to, but it did, and it's awesome. So
I do feel you on that. The confidence where you create a build for the first time and you kind of whoop someone with it, and it's like, the combo pieces kind of line up the way you want.
yeah,
I feel like I'm not top tier in that area. I feel like I'll create a build from scratch, but I'm often testing it out in terms of, testing out in competitive play, which is, I don't feel like is a smart move, but it is what it is. Like, I would take a build and test it out, but I would take a lot of losses, but I would pretty much use those losses to kind of tinker with it, see what works, what doesn't work. And that's how I kind of have fun with it, where I'm kind of, taking it from like the base concept level, but then really elevating it to a real proper build. I feel like Telvanni, like, I've taken so many losses initially, and then I kind of got to the point where I kind of knew what cards I wanted to put in and what I wanted to see happen. Yeah, that's a build where I can say where I kind of built it from scratch and made it the way I kind of always wanted it to be or wanted to play.
yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the hardest things I think about deck building is working out what not to include, right? There's so many good things to put in so many decks, but obviously you can only fit so many cards in. I think one of the most skillful parts is knowing what you can afford to cut out and go, well, do I actually need to run this card? Probably not.
If I'm being honest, the tricolor attributes really made it hard for certain builds for me to kind of cut out certain cards. For 75, in my opinion, is a difficult to maintain for certain builds where you can get it to 80 to 90 cards even, just because there's so many good cards available to you.
Think it's worth dying for.
All right.
That's sleek right there.
Big fan of the Altar of Spellmaking. It's
Excited
very
to see this card in action.
it's very complicated. Like it's very finicky to get to work, but when it does,
It's nuts.
it is super
like if you were to
satisfying.
put a 10-course creature in the field, uh-oh.
Yeah. A 2 cost is not the best value I've gotten out of it. But all right, let's see this. What have you got?
Trying to make sure I don't mess it up too much.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Yeah.
Name it. I'll forge it.
What? Wow. Crazy.
Shit.
No, that was not my best play right there, but close.
All right. Well, I'm not dead. Just good. I can do this.
That stings.
But that
But
is.
yeah, that's what that comes in.
I can't really. I can't really
Oh, no,
leave you to
this-
that.
Swiller's Market has to go. It's an automatic. I expect this to die when I put it on the field. Always.
I'll fight to my last breath. I'll fight to my last breath. I bark and burn. This is interesting.
Name it. I'll forge it.
Kashid likes these. Kashid doesn't need to be followed.
Alright, what have we got?
We're on the cusp of a major discovery. I know just what to do with this.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, okay.
The reach is ours. Sniveling coward. They're in my sights.
Stands ever ready.
Alright.
I thought you was gonna play a 1-course support. You'd have had it.
Yeah, didn't quite get there, but that's alright.
Kashid likes these.
The reach is ours.
Kashid doesn't need to be followed. Kashid doesn't need to be followed.
Alright.
Watch this. There's no prize for second place.
Oh, it was good while it lasted. Get it? Unfortunately for Swindler's Market, it's pretty much like Orcs. You get to turn 10-12 and it's the opponent still got life. You cooked.
Yeah. I like the reflective automaton Ring of Lordship. I don't think I've seen that in Swindlers before.
Say that again?
The reflective automaton with the Ring of Lordship.
Is effect. Reflective Automaton has all creature types. Ring of Lordship gives the same type as the wielder, one less. So basically, Reflective Automaton, that combo gives you. Remember Rimmon Purveyor, the 4-cost creature that I was playing with the Dark Elves to reduce the cost by 1?
Yeah.
Ring of Lordship and Reflective Automaton is the same combo. It pretty much makes every creature in your hand cost 1 less. It makes it easier to play 0-cost cards.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't think I've seen that in Swindlers, in market decks even.
Yeah, it was good to I use it to resummon the Bandari Opportunists, and at the time they would cost 0 cost. So in combination with Swindler's Market, you pretty much be reusing the effect.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
I'll fight to my last breath.
There you go, just like that.
Like that. But if it cost 0, then it would have done a bit more damage. Oh Lord, it's over.
Yeah, I'll do that one.
And you summoned him too. Props to you for that. Good job on that.
He doesn't.
I never summon this card. I play him off
There's
of
no
a
prize
random
for
card
second
from
place.
Balmari Spy Master, but to put him at 11 cost, this is another perfectly balanced card.
Yeah, they
Like
couldn't.
it has an insane effect, but a very low attack and defense.
They could not have made him any better than a 3/3. Else he would just be showing up everywhere.
I would agree. 11 cost, he should not die to a fireball, so he should not have 2 defense. Absolutely not.
No, but he can't be like a 5/5 or anything, because then he'd just be busted.
I think it's good that a crushing rock or a lightning bolt can kill it.
Yeah,
It's too powerful.
yeah. No, he's very powerful.
Watch this.
But yeah, once you get 2 turns of his effect, it's pretty much over anyway.
There's
Like
no
that,
prize
this
for
effect is
second
nuts.
place.
Yeah, it's pretty damn strong. You just have to, you have to hope he survives. Is the main
But
thing.
once you get the effect off the first time, it usually doesn't matter. Like that trifecta, deal damage, gain health, draw 3.
Yeah. No, that's a strong one.
But I think I will call it, Mr. Duke.
Sweet.
In terms of closing it out, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course, man. No stress.
It has been an absolute pleasure just being a part of this overall session. I'm looking forward to just watching it, and obviously the previous chapters and all that. But yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. It was great having you on. Glad to finally have a chat with you. I've been wanting to get you on for ages, but we got there in the end, which is the important part.
Oh hell yeah!
So
Right on time, I guess, for lack of a better term.
yeah, well, yeah, this is getting close to the end of it. So yeah, thanks again for coming on, bro. It was mean chatting with you. And good luck with the very short rest of your Legends career, whatever's left of it.
3 days worth technically, but
Yeah.
yeah, it'll expand a little bit further after that. Again, Duke, appreciate you having me on. Everybody listening in and just tuning in, appreciate y'all watching. And of course, like and subscribe. Show your support as always. And yeah, I will get at y'all later.
Man, good to talk, bro.
Likewise. Cheers.
Later.
Take care.